Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Matt Jarbo here with $3 Theater, and I am still trying to wrap my brain around what I just saw. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the 52-minute season 2 premiere of The Mandalorian. Oh my god! Oh my god! Like what? I can't believe they pulled that off on television, man. I can't believe they were able to get that done on television. So yeah, we're going to talk about it. There's going to be spoilers. Okay, like get ready for this. So for one, I'm so happy the show is back. I mean, 8 episodes from last season. I've rewatched it like a bunch of times now. Been dying for this new episode. It did not disappoint, even though it did take a little bit of time to get going, but these things tend to do that. So this was brought to us by Jon Favreau, who actually wrote and directed this episode. But real quick before we dive into it, and like I said, there will be spoilers. This episode, in my mind, kind of redeems episode 5 to an extent. To an extent, it redeems episode 5 from the first season, The Gunslinger. That is regarded as like the worst episode. And by that, it's just like the least good episode that they've done. However, this in my mind kind of redeems it because Favreau was able to bring more life to the Amy Sedaris character when we go to Tatooine. And I loved, I loved seeing her again. Whereas before, not so much. But like this time it really kind of did well with that. And I'm really happy that they brought her back. And you can see there's been a change in Mando, especially how he's looking at the little pit droids and how he's treating all of them. Like it's that whole notion of like, yes, clearly we are in a situation right now where the Mando has evolved and over the time. And it's good to be back in this world. What was cool about it though was we actually started off with him going to that fight that we saw in the trailer. And what I didn't realize was that the bad guy, the one-eyed guy, the Cyclops dude, that was John Leguizamo. That was John Leguizamo in makeup. I had no idea. Now I'm going to go back and rewatch it again and just go, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because I loved me some John Leguizamo. And that scene was pretty cool, although we pretty much saw the whole thing kind of play out in the trailer. He goes there, he gets kind of double crossed, and then of course he gets out of it by killing some people with the vibroblade, and then he gets what he needs and he leaves. But it's again, it's totally like awesome how he strings up John Leguizamo and then shoots out the light and basically feeds him to the animals that live in the darkness. It was like that was pretty. It was dark, baby. It was dark. It was cool. It was Mando. And then from there, again, going back to Tatooine, it gets a little bit wonky once he has to take off in search of the Mandalorian, but all they know of is one person with the armor. And if you've ever paid attention to the new the new canon, right? The new universe and stuff. You have Chuck Wendig's Aftermath series, which a lot of people out there hate Chuck Wendig, but they basically gave him mad props. If I was Chuck Wendig tonight, I would probably be like willing to die tonight to be happy because they basically went to his character Cobb Vanth, played by Timothy Olyphant, who we had heard like a long time ago when the rumors had broke that he was going to be in the show. Everyone is speculating, is he going to be Cobb Vanth? Is he going to be coming in from Aftermath? What exactly is going to be happening here? And yeah, they did it. Like they did it. They followed like his story. I haven't read Aftermath. I quickly looked up the story before recording this. And so more or less like they kind of followed it with a few, I don't know, maybe some changes, some variations, but now I got to go read Aftermath because for one, Timothy Olyphant has been one of my favorites for well over 20 years. And the fact that he popped up looking like a very kind of slightly younger, more American Pierce Brosnan in The Foreigner, because he did. But it's great to see him back in a Western setting, considering the 5 seasons of Justified are some of the best TV you'll see. And he's playing that kind of cowboy gunslinger marshal type character that he played it a little bit lighter this time, but I really liked him in it. And of course he's got the town, he's trying to protect it. Mando wants the armor. They meet up with Weequay in the bar, and that was great that they brought that reference back, that they had a ton of references in this. Again, tons and tons and tons of references. but they also expanded upon the lore. They expanded upon everything you would expect from the Mandalorian and going into this world. And the fact that they started that they expanded upon the story with the Sand People, with the Tusken Raiders, and it humanized them because they never really get humanized. Remember episode 5 from season 1 when we found out that they speak in sign language. That was actually really big in terms of representation for people out there who are deaf, because they were like, oh, wow, we are represented with this alien species in Star Wars, and they're very happy with that. And we got a whole bunch more of that this time around, where we get to understand their culture a little bit more, not a great deal, but enough to see them as humanizing them, even though they're aliens, right? Which I liked. And then there was that difference between, you have like the settlers and you have the raiders, and how they kind of view each other, even though it's like, they ultimately have to come together. Why? Because of a crate dragon. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this episode 100% was like Tremors in space. And considering there was a new Tremors movie that came out last week, it's cool to see that kind of vibe again. This whole episode, to me, once they got out there and you see the crate dragon and it's basically like a gigantic tremor, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to get wild. So then they go and they have to start trying to find a way to kill it. And the Sand People and the town villagers have to get together, and they got to figure out a way to make it work. And so they work together for the greater good. It did kind of feel a little bit of a rehash of episode 4, right? It did. It felt a little bit like a rehash of that, but I ain't going to complain. It was another one of those Western tropes, and they're just going to play it up for right now. But, oh my God, that when the crate dragon, when they bury the bombs, and it's like it's coming out, and like all of a sudden the aspect ratio goes from letterbox to full frame, like they shot that in IMAX. It felt like it's felt like when you go to an IMAX movie, and like when they shoot the scenes in IMAX and they increase the frame size, and it just feels totally different. The fact that they did that here was so amazingly cool. It happens, and then all of a sudden when you realize that the frame is larger, you're in it. And those couple minutes were like, my jaw was dropping. I was so happy. I was clapping. I was like, yes, it's so cool. Because look, Cobb Vanth, Timothy Olyphant, wearing the Boba Fett armor and using the jetpack, using the missile, fighting alongside Mando, taking out this thing was just so freaking cool to me. It was so insanely cool to me. And I was so happy with what we saw. I was so happy by seeing that in action, and the fact they worked together, and like it felt natural. It felt there was a lot of chemistry there. It felt great. And then of course, Mando does what Mando does, which is put himself directly in the line of fire, and then more or less almost sacrifice himself in order to stop this thing. But he does by going into the belly of the beast, quite literally, and then using his cattle prod to get the beast to resurface, while he was able to jetpack out of its mouth and then detonate the explosives currently in the creature's stomach. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Every second of it. I thought it was fantastic. The episode did feel a little bit wonky at times. And that was a lot of it was when they were kind of doing the Timothy Olyphant backstory to everything, right? When they were doing the Cobb Vanth backstory, like it felt a little bit cheap. I'll be fair. It felt a little bit kind of okay. But again, as it hits that second half of the show, as it hits that second half of the episode, you're in it. You're balls deep in it. You are just so happy you are where you are. That's my only real complaint. Otherwise, it was just I'm not gonna watch it again tonight, but I'm gonna watch it again in the morning when I get up, because my daughter now really likes Baby Yoda, and there's a lot of good Baby Yoda moments in this episode. Although it might be a little bit too scary for her, but that's okay. Oh my God. Please, Disney, release this in 4K. Please put this episode in an IMAX theater, and I will pay money to go see it. My God. So for one, the music is amazing, as always. The acting was really good. The effects were better than what you would see in some movies at that end. Like the stagecraft tech, fantastic stuff. The size and scale of that crate dragon was nuts. And then, of course, there's the very end, because I was really wondering about that. He got the Boba Fett armor from Cobb. Okay, fine. I'm hoping Cobb gets it back at some point. I don't know the character's lore, but whatever. And as he's taking off into the sunset, there is some mysterious person watching from the hillside. And that, of course, is Tamara Morrison. He turns around. You see Tamara Morrison. It's Fett. Boba survived. Boba survived. We've got confirmation now. I talked about that today on Dueling Sabers, my daily Star Wars podcast. I talked about that, how they renewed the trademark a couple days ago for Boba Fett because he's gonna be a big part of the season, I think, or at least a moderate part of the season. He's back, baby. We have confirmation that the mofo survived the Sarlacc pit. So that's pretty cool. There was another thing I noticed in this one was the spurs. They made sure to play up the sound of the spurs when Mando was walking, as well as Cobb Vanth. Even though their characters aren't actually wearing spurs, they definitely made sure to let you know that they had spurs, guaranteed tying back in to that sound cue from the end of episode 5 from last season, like 100%. So you have that whole thing. I did enjoy that they brought back the ice cream maker from Empire Strikes Back as a little bit of an Easter egg. I did enjoy that was what Cobb Vanth stole from the mining collective that took over the town and killed everybody. I thought that was pretty funny. As soon as I recognized that was great. Again, tons of Easter eggs, tons of great stuff. This episode is just so good. Like we've been waiting for this, like I'm so jazzed. I'm so jazzed that it's back. I can't wait for next week. As always though, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions on this one. Let me know down in the comment section. Please like the video, subscribe if you guys are checking it out for the first time. I'm going to be doing reviews every week. And of course we'll be doing like a post discussion, probably live stream on maybe Saturday afternoon. We'll see what people are doing around that time, but oh my God, I can't believe they did it. They did it. They totally did it. And if this is only the beginning of the season, Disney has full faith in Jon Favreau. This is what's going to keep Star Wars alive. And I'm right there for it, 100%. I hope you guys are there too. Remember, check out my daily Star Wars news podcast, Dueling Sabers. Pops up sometime in the afternoon or evening. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Have yourself a great day. Oh, I want to go watch it again. And peace out.